Hi and Assalamualaikum. By recording this video, me and my friend going to present about mini project, which is the topic is about corporate governance company in Malaysia. Before I start, let me introduce myself first. My name is Aina Shafiqah binti Muhammad Shakir and my registration number is 01DPM19F2026. The content that included in this video presentation is introduction, company background, list of organizational chart, roles of chairperson and CEO, roles of inside and outside directors, roles of employees, representation on the board, ethical issue of corporate governance, and last but not least is conclusion. Our selected company is Manci Food Industries Sdn Bhd, which is known as Mancis. The company Manci Food Industries Sdn Bhd has been chosen for this assignment. In the beginning, Manci has started in 1991 in a small town in the south of Malaysia, Batu Pahat. The Mancis origin started with the two brothers, which is SK Tan and LK Tan, setting up Mancis Food Industries. With an initial investment of 80,000 ringgit, the brothers developed the company to its current state, with the involvement of their siblings, CK Tan and Net Tan. As the years went by and business thrived, the name Mancis began to gain popularity amongst biscuit lovers. From Malaysia's local shores to over the seas, the name Mancis caused many hungry tummies to squeal excitedly. Evolving from an original equipment manufacturer to a household name, this meant that they also had the key ingredients and knowledge to build the brand name and brand affinity, thus creating the irresistible brand known as Mancis, which was born in 1993. The list of organizational chart. First is Chairman Tan Soo Kwok, who is the co-founder. The second one is Rodney Wong, which is the Chief Executive Officer, CEO. Senior Operations Director is Ng Ban Huat. For the Sales Director is Tan Soo Kim. Senior Marketing Director is Karen Ong. Business Development and Information Technology is Edward Chan. Now we are moving to roles of chairperson. The first one is to provide leadership, which is they must be an effective strategist and a good networker. Second, to ensure the management committee functions properly, chairperson responsible for making sure that each meeting is planned effectively, conducted according to the constitution, and that matters are dealt with in an orderly, efficient manner. Management of the organization. Fourth, which is the last point, is to provide support and supervision to the chief officer and senior team. Chairperson will often to be the direct line manager for the chief officer. So that's all from me. Now I'm going to pass this presentation to the second presenter, Safina, to continue this presentation.
Thank you, Aina. My name is Safina binti Muhammad Faizal Siva. My matrix number is 01TPM19F2018. Is roles of Chief Executive Officer or CEO. CEO is responsible for the implementation of board strategy and policy. The CEO implements the strategy approved by the board and ensures that the organization's structure and processes meet the strategy and cultural needs of the organization. CEO have to create and implementing organization and direction. It's the CEO's responsibility to figure out how to put all the pieces together, implement a plan, execute it, and oversee the operation of the organization. The last role of CEO is soliciting guidance from board of directors. In a standard corporation, CEO will often seek advice and guidance from board of directors because the CEO is often chosen by the board. The third is the roles of employee representation of the board. Board members always spend their time in organizational planning. They determine and monitor the organization's products, services, and programs. Board members have to monitoring and managing financial resources, so they should learn how to read a financial statement. Board Members should have a willingness to serve on committee or task forces and take on special assignments as necessary. Board members should accept their position with full understanding that being a board member requires a time commitment. Next, I will explain about roles of inside directors. An inside director is a member of the board of directors of a corporation who is also a member of the corporation's management, almost always a corporate officer. For example, a chief executive officer who is also chairman of the board. The role is to ensure that the organization achieves the target and the risk management is adequately. He or she also needs to conform to regulations and approve ethical principles. Next is the roles of outside directors. An outside director is a member of a company's board of directors who is not an employee or stakeholder in the company. The first role of outside director is receiving an annual retainer fee for their service. Second is to protect the interests of stakeholders. And the third role is to ensure that the board receives accurate and reliable information. The last one is the ethical issues in corporate governance. The first issue is accountability issues. Without accountability, one division of the corporate might endanger the success of the entire company or cause stockholders to lose the desire to continue their investment. The second issue is conflict of interest. When conflict of interests are present, they deteriorate the trust of shareholders and the public while making the corporation vulnerable and in litigation. The third issue is transparency. A lack of transparency can also expose the company to fines from regulatory agencies. The fourth issue is oversight issue. Without this oversight, corporate staff might violate state or federal law, facing substantial fines and regulatory agencies and suffering reputational damage with the public. The last issue is ethics violation. Members of the executive board have an ethical duty to make decisions based on the best interests of the stakeholders. Conclusion. Essentially, the aim of corporate governance processes is to maintain the rights of shareholders along with all other stakeholders. This includes a commitment to the application of standards for disclosure and transparency. Recent financial crises and failures have motivated countries around the world to publish codes for corporate governance. These include codes of conduct for ethical behavior, which act as constant guides for day-to-day decision-making. Adherence to sound ethical values has a number of benefits, including enhancing the behavior of managers, positively motivating employees, protecting an organization's reputation, encouraging greater respect for laws and regulation, and improving business relationships. This, of course, is also reflected in an organization's overall culture. Example, its shared value, attitudes, belief, standards, and rules. And that's all from us. Thank you.